So next I spoke about how drivers drive 11 hours a day within their 14-hour period, but mostly drivers are paid by the mile. They're not entitled to overtime pay, hourly pay, or hazard pay. And when FMCSA makes an emergency declaration lifting hours of service, the public sees, um, oh, the drivers are going to come and save us. But what the drivers see is I already work 100 hours a week and most of it's unpaid. And now I'm going to be hauling fuel and working 16-hour days or 18-hour days. There's no hazard pay. And this whole driver compensation model has to be modernized, especially as autonomous trucks are coming in that are going to be taking the fun part of the job and leaving the humans to do the final mile, first mile. Those are the days when drivers don't really make very much money and where they're working the most and doing a lot of non-driving duties that they're not compensated for. Carriers that value their drivers have already begun adopting a hybrid model that uses a pay by the mile model, and then it kicks into hourly for situations like traffic, weather, and other non-driving duties. Drivers should be paid for every hour worked. There should be no free time for inefficient shippers and receivers. Detention at food industry facilities is the biggest source of lost hours, and detention fees often go unpaid, or it goes to the carrier and not into the driver's pocket. The ELD mandate worsened conditions by creating a situation for drivers that caused them to start their clock according to warehousing hours, and the immediate effect was everybody seeking truck parking at the same time during peak hours. The ELD mandate also created a safety hazard by incentivizing speeding. So drivers began trying to beat the clock, and this has really eroded the quality of life on the road. As I mentioned about the 0 to 3 year truckload sector, data does exist to understand the relationship between experience and safety. The companies have this data. They should be required to produce it. Payroll and hiring data used in class action lawsuits could be lined up with truck crash information, and that data would allow research teams to assess the impact of turnover, time in the industry, time with that employer. Motor carriers should have to file all of that data and provide it to drivers. What do drivers actually earn, and what is the company turnover rate? Truth in recruiting and truth in hiring. The crash data should also include commodity type, employee contractor relationship, status, pay type, compensation rate, lease purchase, student fleet, experience level, etc.